Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Mary. And this is Greg and Mary's RV Adventure. And we have a visitor today. Al wanted to join us today.
This week's video is going to take us into Reelfoot State Park. And where was that, Mary? Tennessee. And also Eagle's Nest RV Park in Tennessee.
Yeah, both of them are from Tennessee.
Yes. But the trip actually for this video, I had to mark this out. We leave Arkansas, we crossed into Missouri, then we went into Tennessee, then we went back to Kentucky to watch the solar eclipse, which was outstanding, and then back to Tennessee. So that's the trip. And a couple things. In Reelfoot, we drove 2 hours south to go to Shiloh's Battlefield, Civil War battle. Visitor Center was closed. We mentioned that.
We did see a little film there, though, about a 10-minute
film. Yeah.
Film about the battle.
Yeah. The battle actually lasted 2 days. We took the auto tour, which just took us from stop to stop. We didn't have much time, so we couldn't get out. But it's not far from Nashville, and Mary and I and friends have talked about going to Nashville. If we make that trip, we're going to definitely go back to Shiloh and spend an entire day there. Follow day 1 of the battle, and then day 2 of the battle.
Yes.
Very informative.
It was confusing. I could not follow it along just listening to the audio part in the car.
Yeah. And after that, we went to Fort Donelson, right? Yeah. Which was a Union forces coming down into Tennessee to capture 2 forts, Fort Henry and Fort Donelson, which opened up the South to the Union forces. It's not a fort like you think of a fort with walls and all that.
I kept looking for the log buildings, and Greg kept saying there aren't any here.
There are earthworks, and you'll see in the video the huge cannons behind the earthworks. Another thing was there, interesting, well, at least for me because I like nature, carpenter bees, this big. I guess mating season or whatever it was, they were everywhere. And they have signs up, be careful of the carpenter bees. And normally they're pretty docile. They don't sting you, but they can bite. But when I went down into the one earthworks, as soon as I stepped down into it, that 15, 20 bees came out and were buzzing around me, so I left quickly. But that's about it, huh, dear?
Well, a solar eclipse.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah,
yes.
The solar eclipse. Yeah.
That was an awesome experience, and I hope you were able to see it wherever you were.
One thing that wasn't mentioned in the video about that, we had our glasses on watching the thing, and I kept them on because I don't want to, hurt your eyes. And I heard a fella behind me say, "Oh my goodness," during the total. I took my glasses off, and he was right. Oh my goodness, the whitest light you've ever seen. It was just unbelievable. Really, really enjoyed it. So.
But where we were parked was in a Walgreens parking lot. So there were street lights and neon lights and everything else around us. So when it got to the darkness, the total darkness, it was not totally dark for us where we were.
In front of us, yeah.
In front of us. But when I turned around and looked behind us, it was pitch black.
It was
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you'll see the 2 different pictures in the video about that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that's it for now.
Al, you want to add anything?
Nope, he doesn't say much. Al's pretty quiet.
And when he says stuff, we don't know what he says anyways. So.
Yeah, so.
All right, guys.
Enjoy the video, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Actually, it's goodbye, Arkansas. Hello, Missouri. Hello, Tennessee. Hello, Kentucky in this video.
Still in Arkansas, getting close to Missouri. 412 B's and boy.
No, we're off the beat. We're on
412.
Welcome to Missouri.
There'll be a big bump and I won't be able to breathe.
And the tractor trailer past me from your left.
Welcome to Missouri. We're crossing the Mississippi River now. We're crossing the state line, heading into Tennessee.
Pretty decent campsite. We had water and electric, easy to level, state park. All the campers are spread out, nice and quiet.
The 15,500-acre lake was formed by the Great New Madrid Fault earthquakes of 1811 to 1812. 3 massive earthquakes shook the earth, with 2 7.7 and 1 7.5 earthquakes and over 2,000 aftershocks. The land sunk, trees tumbled, and the Mississippi River ran backwards. The sunken earth flooded impounding trees that died, leaving a lake bed filled with stumps and trees, creating a natural fish hatchery. Today, Reelfoot Lake is a pro and recreational fisherman's paradise.
While we were driving to the campground, we passed these rental cabins. They looked rather large and very, very nice. So Mary and I decided to take this little trail from the campground over to the rental cabins and check them out. A nice restaurant slash bar. Although I was a little disappointed, I wanted an IPA, and every different beer I asked for they didn't have. So she brought me a peanut butter stout. Not very good.
On 5,000 acres overlooking the Tennessee River, 156 monuments, 217 cannons, and more than 650 historic tablets mark America's best preserved battlefield, site of the Civil War's first major combat in the Western Theater. Fought April the 6th and the 7th, 1862, Shiloh gave General U.S. Grant his sternest test and witnessed the death of General Elbert Sidney Johnston, the highest-ranking American ever killed in combat.
A couple items about our visit to Shiloh. First off, the visitor center was closed for remodeling, unfortunately. And the second thing is Mary and I need to plan our trips a little bit better. We were here the day before they were doing a reenactment of the battle. They set up a large field area where they had tents. They were going to have soldiers firing, cannons, shooting, cavalry riding. It looked like it was going to be a real nice event, but unfortunately, we will not be there.
Sure is a bumpy road here.
Certainly is all.
hello to the canola flower, a bouquet of beautiful bright yellow flowers with a plethora of canola seeds situated smack dab in the middle of the petals. Welcome to the farms of northern Tennessee, where the canola seed is one of the main crops grown here. Most vegetable oil is produced from canola seed, making canola one of the major oilseed crops grown in the world. It's used for cooking and other products such as bread, crackers, chips, and other foods that contain vegetable oil. As we were driving through Tennessee, it was going on for miles and miles and miles. Beautiful yellow flowers.
Arrive at 100 Eagle Nest Road on the right.
Oh, then we just go right to our campsite.
What?
We go right to the campsite. We already checked in.
Okay.
Is that right there?
It did say Eagle's Nest.
Well, it's only a couple days before the solar eclipse. All the state parks were full, so we had to book a site at a regular RV park. You can tell sites are close together, not too much privacy, but we're only there for 2 days. Now, one more thing about the campground. Our electrical connection was not good. We had to use the 50 amp and ratchet it down to 30 amps. They came that morning, and corrected the 30 amp outlet. So from our campsite in Tennessee, we drove an hour to Paducah, Kentucky to watch the solar eclipse. We have our handy dandy solar glasses that we purchased in Roswell, New Mexico earlier in our trip. The pictures that are following were taken by our iPhones. It does not do it justice. It was really remarkable watching the solar eclipse. The next one's going to be in 2044. Mary and I will be 94 years old, and we're already making plans to go see it. It was just breathtaking. The next picture shows the total eclipse. It doesn't do it justice. The moon covered the entire sun, and only a thin white light appeared around the moon. But
like
it was
a halo.
Like a halo, but it was so bright. It was just incredible. By the way, Mary and I were at a Walgreens parking lot to watch the solar eclipse. This view here is from the opposite side, and this is the view in front of us, in front of the Walgreens. The difference in the color in the sky was just impressive. I mean, I hope you guys had a chance to witness the solar eclipse.
The Battle of Fort Donelson was fought from February the 11th through the 16th, 1862, in the Western Theater of the American Civil War. The Union capture of the Confederate fort near the Tennessee-Kentucky border opened the Cumberland River, an important avenue for the invasion of the South.
After the fall of Fort Donelson, the South was forced to give up southern Kentucky and much of middle and west Tennessee. The Tennessee and Cumberland rivers and the railroads in the area became a vital federal supply lines. Nashville, a major rail hub and previously one of the most important Confederate arms manufacturing centers, was developed into a huge supply depot for the Western Union armies. Take 8. Hi, it's Greg. And it's time for the Will Rogers segment of our video. My bride just distracted me for a second. Sorry about that. When we left off last week's video, Will Rogers and his wife Betty were in Oklahoma, 1917, and they had 4 children. And during that time, Will was still active in performing. Around that same time, Florence Ziegfeld of the Ziegfeld Follies became impressed with Will. Despite many years of performing on stage, was quoted as saying, "Ziggy gave me my start." Between 1916 and 1925, Will headlined 6 of Ziegfeld Follies' classical productions. I do have a cheat sheet. Will explained his role was to entertain the audience while the girls, quote, changed from nothing into nothing. During that time with the Follies, Will got very involved reading several newspapers daily. And that was the beginning of Will's comments and jokes about current events. So that's it. The end of this segment today. We'll pick it up again next week. Stay tuned for Mary and mine quotes, Will Rogers quote of the week. It's time for what everybody's been waiting for, Will Rogers quotes of the week. And I want you to keep in mind, Will died in 1935, but some of his sayings still hold water today, as tragically as it may sound. So here's my quote this week. They say Washington never was so dry. Of course, you got to lay most of the blame to the Senate and the Congress not being in session. Now, if you're having difficulty understanding what I'm trying to say here, or what Will is trying to say, do some research on how many days a year does Congress and the Senate stay in session. You'd be shocked and probably disappointed to find that answer. And it was the same problem back then. I see you, Mayor. I'm rambling. It's currently today. All right, so you're up.
Okay, Mike.
Make it short.
My quote of the week from Will Rogers. This is in quotes. A man only learns by 2 things. One is reading, and the other is association with smarter people. And that's why all of you are my friends, not you.
Oh, come on. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
Bye.